Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom. Now today we're going to talk about 90 Day, The Last Resort, Season 1, Episode 9, Where Did You Go Last Night? Now with every video, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please consider subscribing, join the family, like this video, leave your comments so I know what you thought about this episode and these couples on here, and tell a friend to tell a friend that Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom does all the 90 Day franchises, the Other Way, the 90 Days, the Tell-Alls, the Love in Paradise, and of course, The Last Resort. All right, so let's get started. So on tonight's episode, we're back with Kalani, Jovi, Yara, Ed, Liz, Michael, Angela, and Molly, because Kelly went home last week. So as we pick back up with this episode, it begins with Kalani and Liz. They're hanging out at the pool to have some girl talk. And Kalani is telling Liz what her biggest problem with Asuelu is. She had mentioned that before she even came out for the girls talk, that Asuelu was on his phone and it looks like he was deleting some messages. And then when Kalani asked, "Hey, Asuelu, what is it that you're doing?" And Asuelu turned his back with the phone. It's like, "Oh, nothing. I'm deleting just a couple of messages, just some, random things." But Kalani, she wasn't here for that. She didn't believe Asuelu at all, because Kalani reminds us again that Asuelu has cheated on her no less than 10 to 12 times. He cheated on her before he even came to America before the K-1 visa. He cheated on Kalani when she was pregnant with her first child. He cheated on Kalani when he came to America after she had their first son, and even recently. And with the tongue gate, go back to episode 1 on the video and you'll know what I'm talking about. So she said when she thought about that, she said, "You know what, since he can do this, I don't even want to know if he's cheating on me, because it feels like that's what he's doing. How can I trust him? So what's good for the goose is good for the gander." So Kalani's hall pass, who she blocked when she came to the resort, to, give her and Asuelu a chance to see if they were going to make it work one last time. Well, she said she couldn't take it no more and unblocked the number for the hall pass, whose name, by the way, is Dallas. Now, Liz said, "You know what? If I was Kalani, after hearing everything that Kalani said about Asuelu cheating and just all the dynamics behind that," she said that if she was Kalani, that Asuelu wouldn't even be breathing right now. Like, he's lucky to even be standing here telling anyone any type of story or trying to make work with Kalani. And I'm like, Liz, what? You're saying that you would give the business, give all the smoke to Asuelu? You remember you're here at The Last Resort too with Ed, who you two have been on your own series going back and forth with the allegations of cheating and the trust issues and the engagement being broken off back and forth. So Liz missed me with that, but I understand what you're trying to say with your intentions are good, but you're not even doing that in your own relationship. So anyway, moving on. All right, so Kalani said that, yes, she mentioned that her hall pass is Dallas, but she also says in confessional and to Liz that she feels bad because she knows that Asuelu is the kid's father, her first love, and she's trying to separate her feelings, but she really don't know how to, because Dallas gives her all the feels. He reciprocates her emotions. He reciprocates, kind gestures, and let her know that nice guys really do exist, and there's someone out there who can really love her for her. So she's having a hard time. Now, when this Last Resort first started, and even episodes leading up to this one, I have mentioned before that I felt that Kalani was just here to see if it will go anywhere, to, the last ditch effort, but I never thought her heart was in it. it just never gave that her heart was there with Kalani, that she had already, accepted what Asuelu did, even though, she wasn't cool with it, because who's cool with someone cheating on you and bringing home a possible uh, STD or something like that, versus someone that she met that's into her, gives her the intention, things like that. So really, truly the last ditch effort. I saw this a long time ago from Kalani. But I don't know. I just think that Kalani kind of might want to stay for the sake of the kids, but I'm letting you know, girl, you do not stay for the sake of your kids. You're not in a relationship with your children. You're in a relationship with their father, and they don't need to go through any unnecessary drama. Been there, done that. All right, so next scene, when we see Jovi and Yara, they are meeting with a therapist today to go over why they're having communication issues, why they're having trust issues. Now, also in the therapy session with Jovi and Yara is Jovi's mom, Gwen. Now, I will call her Mrs. Gwen because that's what Yara calls her, and I think it's a cute little nickname. So Mrs. Gwen comes on the screen, and she's greeted by Yara and Jovi. So the topic comes up with, is there anything that you want to say to your mom for Jovi, or Mrs. Gwen for Yara, that you want to get out in the open that maybe she didn't know before? And Jovi said that his mom didn't know anything that has happened since they've been there, but she, knows some things that maybe Yara doesn't know about. So then Yara said, you know what? We're here for honesty, right? So I'm going to tell you something that I have just recently told Jovi. So Mrs. Gwen, you know how Jovi has been wanting another baby, and I wasn't ready. So I actually got on birth control behind Jovi's back, and he didn't know. And Mrs. Gwen said, Yara, how could you do that? That's a terrible thing to do, get on birth control without telling your husband. But then Mrs. Gwen said, you know what, Jovi? Now that we're being truthful, I don't want to hold off any secrets. And Yara said, there's more secrets. Jovi said that there are some things that he told his mom, but he told his mom in confidence. But Mrs. Gwen said, she's tired of holding the secrets. Let Yara know what you told me, because she needs to know, since we're, again, out in the open. So Jovi told Yara that he had put in for a job. And this is not the first time I've heard Jovi put in for a different job. On their seasons that they've been on before, this has always been a topic of conversation. But anyways, Jovi said he put in for a job, and he received the job that was much closer to home, and he turned it down. So Yara said, wait a minute, wait. So you're telling me that you finally have a job offer closer to home, because I've been wanting you to be home with me and Mila, their little girl, who I believe was like 2 pushing 3 years old, and you turned it down when you were only home for a month at a time, and you're gone for like 6 months at a time. So why would you turn that down? Is it financial? So Jovi said, well, you just wouldn't understand. I just didn't feel like it was the right fit. And I'm thinking, if it's not the right fit, why did you apply for it? I mean, the purpose of applying for another job in the same field, because Jovi's in the oil industry, is either to get closer to home or get closer to home making more money, because otherwise you might as well stay in the position that you're in, because you're not achieving anything else by taking another job, just doing the same thing, just in a different location. But Yara said, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you did this to me. And then they cut to a scene where on their seasons where they discussed Jovi getting a job closer to home. And then Yara said, this is why I don't want another baby right now. I don't feel like I'm ready. I don't feel like we're ready, because you're away for so much of the time. I don't always want to have to depend on Mrs. Gwen to help me take care of Mila. This is our baby. So, until Jovi can get this together, like the job close to home and us getting communication, like there is no other baby. She don't want to be looked at as a single mom, but yet, or feel like she's a single mom, because he's gone all the time. And Jovi, he's not given the best reason as to why. And Yara definitely isn't buying it. All right. So later in the evening, all the couples come together for a night out. When the conversation with the group was brought up about how Jovi and Yara's therapy session went, during the day. And the topic of the job offer came out again. And Angela said, you know what, Jovi? That's not cool. She said that's one of the main reasons her and Michael go back and forth all the time is because there's too many secrets. Like, what is the point of that? You're married, you're in a committed relationship, you want to do better, you want to have more success. Like, why are you telling me mistruth? Why are you not telling me what's really going on? So she understood why Yara was upset, and actually the other couples did too. Well, then they break out, do different activities, and then Jovi and Asuelu go to the bar to get drinks for either themselves or for the group in general. And then Asuelu was actually trying to give Jovi some advice, like, you should be a little bit more honest with Yara, because look at the situation I'm in, not telling Kalani, not being upfront and honest. But now that we're here at the retreat, I'm working on that and trying to build a relationship, so maybe you can too. Just, think about the next time that situations come up that might alter your lifestyle or, possibly lead you down a road with Yara you really don't want to be on. So Joe was like, yeah, okay, cool. So he kind of act like he was listening, and I hope he did, because Asuelu in the moment was right about what he was saying, at least in my opinion. What do y'all think about what Asuelu was saying to Jovi? Okay, so after the other couples or the other people were playing activities, I believe they were playing, oh gosh, I just forgot what it was called, cornhole, and Jovi and Asuelu came back and they all sat down together as a group to talk. Then Ed leans over to Kalani and said, hey, have you seen Molly? And she's like, no, I haven't. And then here comes Molly right on cue. And everybody's like, Molly, what's going on? So Molly is walking into the group. She has her fedora hat on and her face is looking down. You can tell there's something wrong. And then when she sits down, she says, that Kelly has left, because the group says, where's Kelly? They're like, he left? She was like, yes, they left. And the group was like, but everybody went, except for Yara. In confessional, Yara said, listen, all the fighting and the ways that Kelly and Molly weren't necessarily getting along, she's not surprised that it didn't work out, but, she wishes them the best, and that was that. So when Molly was giving the reasons as to why, she was saying how, and to me, it just seems like, I said it before, Molly wasn't necessarily into the process the way that Kelly seemed like he was in the process. It came about after the fact, because Molly kept saying all the things that wasn't happening for her, not like towards trying to mend the relationship if there was any. But she was saying how she loved Kelly and that, she's a businesswoman and she tried to do the best she can do, and they just couldn't get back on the same page. And he just never supported her from the beginning. So Molly said that she's 47 years old. She's tired of starting from the beginning. She wants a man that's going to be there for her, and really love shouldn't be this hard. And I have to agree, especially when you're at a certain age, certain maturity, a certain place in life, you have been there, done that, you know where you're going. You would like a partner who is going, hopefully a lifetime partner, right? Who is going to be there for you. You do for them. They do for you. You travel, you just live your best life. And Molly feels like she's getting too old to find these things for her, but the group tells her that she's loved and we're here for you. And then they asked Molly, well, are you going to stay till the end, or what are you going to do? And Molly said no. She decided that she was going to go ahead and go home too, because there was no reason to stay, because there's no relationship. But Molly did say that she was going to continue to possibly follow up with the therapist for aftercare for when she's at home. So, I mean, I hope she does. I think that Molly needs individual therapy, and I also think that Kelly needs individual therapy, because whether you've known their story before they came on The Last Resort, there was a bunch of back and forth with Molly, the business, and Molly's oldest daughter that was, in different magazines and on the 90-day, maybe IG page or a Facebook page that came out. So it was a lot for them to get over. So now it's the next morning. There's a quick scene with Asuelu, who says he feels like there's something wrong. He looked for Kalani. She's nowhere to be found. He says he came to the resort to work on their issues, and he just has this gut feeling that the things that they've tried to get past is not working. He feels like maybe he came to the resort in vain. Now, when we see Kalani, she is talking with her sister Kalani. Well, it turns out, because Kalani said that Asuelu came to the room to bring their boys breakfast in the morning, and Kalani wasn't there. Well, Kalani was off site at a different hotel with her hall pass Dallas, and apparently Kalani was supposed to come back in the morning before the boys woke up, before breakfast, and plans changed. Kalani said it didn't work out like that. Oh well. So apparently Kalani had a time last night and wasn't thinking about Asuelu, and hey, the sun beat her home. That's just what happened. Kalani is saying that she understands that Kalani is trying to figure out what she wants to do, and she wants her sister to be a bit more careful. Kalani says in confessional that, she's behind her sister 100%, and if this is what she wants to do, she's all for it, but, she needs to be a little bit more careful how she's moving. Now, Kalani also told Kalani that maybe she needs to tell Asuelu the truth and move forward, because this sneaking around isn't getting it. Now, here's my thing with that, though. I just think that this is one of the bombshells of this entire last resort episode, what's going to lead up to the hall pass and all that's coming, that you unblocked his number, and all of a sudden, like, he flew out. It seemed like within the 24 hours of unblocking the number he's at the other resort already. Like, does he live in the area? Because that's a little much on both sides. More on Kalani should have a little bit more accountability. And then for Dallas to be, give a little more respect, because Kalani's at a retreat with her husband still, trying to work things out. But hey, each his own, I guess. All right, so later in the episode, the ladies take a girls' trip to another resort for a day out. So you have Angela, Liz, Kalani, and Yara, and they're going to hang out, have drinks, and just have girl time. Now, I was thinking when I was watching that episode, okay, so they're going to another resort. Did Kalani suggest this resort? Is that where her hall pass is? So is it going to be like, hey, girls, hey, ladies, okay, y'all go ahead and have a few drinks. I'll be back in an hour or so. I was waiting on that, because what are the odds? I mean, if the hall pass is at another resort and they take a day trip also to another resort, I mean, to me, that's not far-fetched. It's a little shady and sneaky, but that seems the way it's leaning. All right, so as they get to their destination, they sit down and they talk, and Angela's like, oh my gosh, is that the waiter? So they all turn and look. So it's a little young waiter, youngish, right around Michael's age. I say maybe like 20s, 30s. And he's coming up, and Angela's like, oh, are you our waiter? He's like, yes, I am. She's like, oh, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Haiti. And what's your name? It's nothing to ask where you're from, what your name is. But knowing Angela, it's okay for her to be flirty and everything else, but let that be Michael. In any way, shape, or form, the roof is on fire. Okay. So when the bartender gets there, she's saying, well, I have a drink that I made up myself, and it's called the Dirty Michael. So she's giving the ingredients in the drink. She's telling the ladies, it's strong, but it's sweet, just like Michael. I said, Angela, Mima, knock it off. So as the drinks are arriving, Kalani gets to tell the story about what had happened on her night last night, about her leaving the resort, going to see Dallas, that he flew out to see her. She told them about the text messages that he sent her, all sweet nothings, all about his feelings, all about he felt about her, and going forward, that she felt like, hey, she was going to live her life too, since Asuelu is still deleting stuff off his phone. She was pretty much saying mama has a have to life too, and listen, she wants to see what else is out there for her. And of course, that threw the ladies off, like, what, girl? Your hall pass is here at the resort. What are you gonna do? So then that was the end of the episode. So I guess we'll have to find out next week what is going to happen. So on next week's episode, we're going to see Kalani breaking down while talking to Angela about her feelings for the hall pass Dallas and letting go of the relationship with Asuelu. And the guys, we see that during the evening time, while the ladies were out having their girl time, they're out at a strip club for their night out. And then we have Yara getting upset with Jovi for constantly being at a strip club and feeling like she's not enough. So that was the end of the episode. Please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share. And until next time, everyone, live simply, be grateful.